Hello, and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is still holding below this resistance area, or rather in the resistance area that we talked about earlier today. We have a possible 5-wave decline in wave 1 and a wave 2 bounce, but that bounce looks a little bit impulsive, into this micro resistance area between 70,328 and $71,280. So we're dealing currently with a possible 1-2 setup to the downside, which, however, will be invalidated with a break above $71,804. It would take a break below the intraday low at around $69,030 to confirm this, you could say, short-term bearish setup further. But my impression is the bulls really don't want to give up. I mean, today was again a pretty... Again, it was a day of sideways chop. We are not really at the moment breaking out of this range. And before we dive further into the microstructures, quick reminder that the larger time frame shows us that pretty nicely. Yeah, we are dealing here with potentially a B-wave bounce. I mean, that is still the structural thesis and assumption. First layer of the analysis. Yeah, that's the assumption, a B-wave bounce. So we view everything in that context, which means the movements are choppy, difficult, messy. We might see some up and down movements until we finally get that upside breakout. There are, of course, support levels that we're tracking on the smaller time frame that need to hold to keep the perspective of this upside move alive. They need to hold. And if they break, obviously, then we have to assume that we'll get another low. Then the overall assumption is not necessarily wrong, but it might simply be delayed a little bit. Yeah. So at the moment, we're observing and have been discussing this since February, since that low, whether the market can generate enough buying interest here. Yeah. If there is enough buying interest to drive the price higher, possibly towards 86K or even a bit higher in this B wave. Important is, though, that a B wave is very deceptive, difficult. It's a counter trend move. It's not a trending move. Yeah. So it is very, very difficult to really, be, let's say, bullish, because it's rather a counter trend move. And there is no real confirmation that the market wants to go higher. But clearly, the bulls are trying something. Yeah. And that's why I still keep the door open for that move higher. Then, however, we need to understand that we are on a local level in a sideways range. So the B wave bounce is the thesis. In a sideways range, that's basically the setup we have, because at the moment this is really only interesting, I think, for range traders. Please understand that within this context, typically you find a lot of microstructures change, we have to adjust, we have to be flexible, and so on. And we have a main support area here. This range support area is the main element in this range, the support element. We've been tracking it for a long time now. 61,437 to $62,582 is our support. Then we've got this B wave resistance up here, all of that in the range. These are like, support and resistance levels. And then we've got 70,764 to $72,200 as resistance area. And anything in between here is literally just noise. It would basically take a break above that green structural resistance line at 71,804, plus above the 78.6 retracement here for a real indication we are attempting the next upside breakout. But this is only like first confirmation. We would also need a break above the red line at around 74,470, which is the April low. I showed you that on the higher time frame, for a really good confirmation that the bulls are driving the price higher. It doesn't look like the bears are really clearly dominating here at the moment. I mean, the bulls are trying to take the lead here. So I always give you in the videos the bullish and the bearish pathways, because from a bearish point of view, we should see a break below the intraday low. But again, seems like the bulls don't want to give up, okay? So what you might watch the video and we might already have invalidation of this 1-2 setup to the downside. I really struggle with a very clearly defined bullish pathway. It is very much possible that this B wave then formed the low already and we're grinding higher, but I would need to see how we break above these levels. But my main assumption would be that we're in the C wave then, yeah? So if we break above these levels that I mentioned, we could you know, continue the move higher and would finally play out this B wave potential I talked about for have been talking about for many weeks. So this is, however, pretty important resistance area in this range, the red zone that we're currently testing, and a lot will be decided here. I'll keep you updated about any changes. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, then also check out our X channel. I'll leave a link in the comment section for you. Here you can find a lot of additional updates, charts, news, and much more. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.